This year's CES coverage is sponsored by Corsair and eBuyer. After stopping by the 4K OLED monitor at the Asus CES stand, it was time to enter the ROG gaming zone. The thing that immediately struck me and pretty much everyone else that entered the room was the glaring behemoth of a screen, the 65-inch PG65 gaming display. Now it is an early prototype, but the effect of Destiny 2 running on a large screen that's both sharp and responsive was truly mesmerising. We're talking 4K, 120Hz, is ridiculous. Now don't think that I was strictly meant to actually game on the screen, but that didn't stop me entering the Crucible, and I have to say I really appreciated just how fluid this felt for such a large screen. I've got loads more to say on these Nvidia branded monitors, so stay tuned on a video covering this in much greater detail. Sitting slightly less conspicuously in the corner of the room was the Flare and the Aura terminal. The Flare is a new Cherry MX keyboard that takes on more of a traditional design than the Claymore, though it still has plenty of RGB on show. I'm glad to see that it also uses a new version of the Armoury software, as it was always a bit of a weak area for ROG peripherals. The Aura terminal, on the other hand, is quite a cool gadget, as it allows you to add external lighting strips to your desk, monitor, or anywhere that takes your fancy. It looks quite similar to the new system that Cooler Master are also showing off, and I'm glad to see that we're getting real room-filling RGB products, rather than the more pointless LEDs on things like SSDs and power supplies. Something that has also grabbed headlines has been the ultimate triple monitor setup, which uses plastic inserts to completely eliminate bezels by stretching what you see on screen and covering them up. It's called the bezel-free kit, and it currently only works with the PG35VQ, though if it sells I'm sure it will be available for some other monitors in the near future. It does indeed do what it says on the tin, but to be honest with you, I just found it a bit unimpressive, as it looks unnatural, and I'd just rather play on something like a 38-inch ultrawide or use virtual reality for the most immersive experience possible, but each to their own, and I'm sure plenty of people will appreciate what Asus are trying to do here. Ever since it was announced last year though, I've been eagerly awaiting the release of the ROG PG27UQ, Asus's 4K HDR gaming monitor that runs at 144Hz. I was very pleased to hear that it's almost ready for release, and I finally actually got to play games on it rather than just looking at a demo, with Destiny 2 looking sublime and feeling absolutely fantastic. I think the HDR tech still needs a little bit of tweaking before release, as along with the 200Hz 1440p ultrawide sitting right next door, there was a bit of visible haloing in high contrast areas, such as simply moving the mouse in the menus. But rest assured, I'll be bringing you the full reviews of everything on show as soon as it's released, so do stay tuned for that, and of course check out the rest of my CES coverage from the end screen. Thanks for watching, thanks to Corsair and eBuyer for actually sponsoring this year's coverage, and I will see you in the next video.